SpaceX is facing its first public test tomorrow. They have earnings tomorrow. So we're going to cover what's going on with that earnings. We're going to talk a little bit about Starlink. We'll talk about some of the launches and their launch strategy, share unlocks, and then some of the key statistics so that you can be ready for earnings tomorrow. Now, you know what I always say going into earnings, you should protect yourself. Now, that being said, Tesla has come down, practically 50% from its high, which it went to 3 days or 4 days after it came public, or it's, down 25% from its public offering price. However you want to look at it, it's down. And it's down because that's kind of what IPOs do. They go up out of the gate with all the excitement, and then people take their profits and then they come down. Well, there's a similar thing about to happen in a couple of days after earnings, and we'll talk about that. First of all, this report is bigger than just one quarter. So they report tomorrow, Tuesday, August 4th, after the closing bell. Now, Wall Street is expecting roughly $6.9 billion in revenue. That's pretty big for a company that's just, pretty brand new. But Wall Street has some pretty big expectations for the company. The consensus forecast is for a loss of about 23 cents a share. That's pretty much to be expected. It's what everybody's expected as they ramp up their launches and even continue to ramp up Starlink and some of the other programs, Starship and the Falcon and all that. Management's webcast is going to be at 4:30 if you want to listen in on that. The question is whether fast growth can justify their extraordinary spending and valuation. I don't know if it can or I don't know if it can't. I can just tell you that a stock that has come down this much off the IPO. So the IPO priced the stock at 135. It came public at 148. So somewhere in that range, that's where everybody decided the real value was, right? Well, it's below that range. So is it a good value now, or are these share unlock tranches going to affect the price of the stock? I don't really know. I kind of believe that the unlocking of the insider shares is already priced in. Everybody's already thinking that it's going to be going down. So usually when the whole crowd thinks that, it goes the other way. We'll see. So Starlink is really the story here with what's going on at SpaceX. So there's 10.3 million users already. This thing is just getting going. And I got to tell you, I travel a lot and I bring my Starlink with me, and it's awesome, especially in some third world countries or second world countries where the internet's there, but it's just not the fast speed that I need. They project some good revenue. Quarter two revenue is $3 billion. Operating profit, $1.42 billion. So that's the operating profit. Then they have other stuff that kind of takes away from that. Starlink is no longer their side business. Starlink is expected to be their major engine going forward. Now, the launch cadence is what SpaceX's industrial moat really is. Now, if you remember, you go back to the last space program that we had at NASA, they'd launch something like every 18 months or 2 years. We're getting launches happening practically weekly now. And, you've seen some of the videos probably where the ship will land on its own platform in the ocean, which was unprecedented. I mean, it was pretty cool that the space shuttle landed on wings. It was like an airplane. It was just a flying brick. Pretty cool. But now we've got, the booster comes down. And now even the rockets are coming down out of space, and they're getting caught by these little tweezers, and they're being able to be reused. And so the price has come down markedly on a launch. So there have already been 90 Falcon missions this year in 2026, and we're only in August. And SpaceX is handling most of the Western launches, right? It's not Europe and Japan anymore. It's not China. So the Chinese are doing the other side of the business. The company placed about 2,213 metric tons into orbit last year, and a new $1.6 billion Space Forward award covers 18 Falcon 9 launches. So they've got revenue coming in. They've got it booked. That's going to help keep the top line growing, and that's, part of the story. The Starlink is the other part of it. Starship, on the other hand, is both the promise and the spending risk. They had a great launch a couple of weeks ago after a couple of delays, but they're so much bigger than the Falcon 9. They can carry so much more up into space, and people are willing to pay for that. Even NASA is basing their whole Artemis lunar program on their landing system. And, the idea is, when do you get into SpaceX, right? Falcon and Starlink are supporting the business now. Starship is the forward-looking stuff, and they've been nailing a lot of things at SpaceX lately. So we'll see. 911.5 million shares are eligible for the first release in the first, what they call the tranche of a share lockup. So they're releasing every month or so some extra shares that could go out on the market. Now think about it. You're an employee and you have untradeable shares that are locked up, and all of a sudden you could trade them on the market. Now, from one side, you've been waiting 10 years getting paid in stock, plus you're getting some salary too, but maybe just not as much because you're taking it in stock. And all of a sudden you can open up generational wealth for your family. Well, that was really cool at 220, 225 per share. Is it so cool at 110 a share, 115, 105, wherever it ends up here? Or do those people sit there and go, well, it was double that like a couple of months ago, right? So what is the side that's going to be the real story here? I think it's going to be a bit of both. I think they might sit down and say, honey, let's go ahead and sell half of our shares now, and when it gets back up to 200, we'll start to peel off a little bit more. But it's not going to change the way we eat after that. But to be able to lock in some of that wealth right now makes a lot of sense. So the first tranche unlocks in a couple of days after earnings. So here on Thursday. It represents about 20% of eligible employee and insider shares. And the block is worth about $100 billion. Now, if you remember, they came public at a valuation of $2.7 trillion or something like that. And they raised $77 billion in working capital. And Elon is already using it to buy up lots of companies. So those might be accretive to the top line and maybe even the bottom line as well. The unlock allows selling, but it doesn't guarantee that the holders will sell. We just talked about that, right? So if the market expects this big wave of supply, and I think that's what the price coming down has been, then maybe it won't get sold too much more. But if it does expect it and it does continue to go down because of dilution, that could certainly happen. The stock's already lost half of its peak value. I mentioned that. The shares are about 18% below the IPO price right now. And the decline lowers the expectations, but a valuation near 35 times projected sales still leaves little room for disappointed. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago before it came public, I showed the chart of what Tesla looked like when they came public and how it was kind of flat, whoop, hockey stick up to the right. And so will that be the same thing? We got the same CEO with the same kind of a story. It's a fake it till you make it kind of a story. And then all of a sudden things take off and it's now trading on forward earnings. We'll see if that's the same story here, what those expectations are. So 4 answers, I believe, are going to determine the reaction. First of all, Starlink. Are the customers' revenue and margins still accelerating? We think of things in terms of the United States, but the whole world can use Starlink now. There's like 10,000 satellites circulating around the entire world and covering the world in internet. And it's pretty cheap too. And since the satellites are already up there, everything is revenue at this point because there's not that many new launches compared to the 10,000 that are already up there that's going to affect that. So that's one thing to keep in mind is now every time you get a new subscriber, it's mostly a high margin proposition. Secondly, launches. Can Falcon maintain its pace and contract dominance? I think they're going to reduce Falcon's role over the next couple of years because Starship is so much bigger. But there's probably still going to be a need for that proven program called Falcon. Starship is the roadmap, advancing without another major spending reset, and the share supply is something we've already talked about. So these are the 4 questions revolving around that. Now, when you do listen to the report or watch the report, look through the report and go beyond it, right? It's more than just revenue is the story. It's about cash. It's about execution. It's about incoming share supply. All these things are important. And you know what? That's why they make a market, right? Because some people believe in the upside of that, and some people believe that there's downside to that. My belief is, I don't know. I do covered calls on it. You've seen, if you've watched any of the SpaceX videos, you've seen me do covered calls. And I've got a lot of shares at the top, and I've got a few on the way back down as well. But covered calls allow you to protect and cushion your position on the way down while you're making income. And I'm an income trader, and I believe that we should all be income traders because we have no idea if the stock is going to go up or down or sideways. I just made a case for you, and you get to make the decision on which case side you're going to take, right? Because there's at least two sides to every story. Anyway, that's the situation with SpaceX. I hope you like the explanation. Good luck tomorrow. Be careful tomorrow going into earnings. Don't be a hero and try to think that you know it's going to pop up or you short it and it goes down. You don't know. Nobody knows. And if they do, they're not telling you and me. I can tell you that. All right. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next video. Bye. The information you just heard is for education and information. This is not financial advice.